It's always hard to know. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna check in the group real quick and see what I can find.
Oh yeah, I just got a notification too.
Yeah,
On the
okay, I think we are live. If you guys can see us in the group. Oh yeah, I see us. I just checked on my phone. Okay, guys. Let me know that you guys can hear. If somebody's watching, let us know that you can hear us and that things are looking normal. I am here live today with Steph Fashion Pour. She is a photographer out of Redlands, which is literally right down the street from me, basically. Not too far, not too far. Okay, let's see. Somebody, yeah, people are seeing it. Okay, cool. So this is a new little feature that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I just haven't had time. Something that I'd like to do, photographer feature, right? So I really, especially right now, I think this is the perfect time for it with all of us home. But now, like more than ever, we really need inspiration and motivation. And what better way for us to connect as a photographer community as well during this social distancing. So I'd like to be able to do this a couple times a week. I've got some really cool people that I'm chatting with who'll come on, and this is really super informal. I just want to have a little conversation and just kind of open up a dialogue about where they're at in their businesses. Maybe that can help you guys, give you guys a little bit of inspiration and things like that. But I first met Steph. She signed up for my online course last year. She's been in business for a long time. She's going to tell you her little story in just a minute, but just kind of give you guys a little preview. And she really kind of needed a revamp. And so we worked together, and then now she's also in Momentum. So I really get to kind of see like the insides of her business a little bit, how she's running her team. And she's just killing it. Like it's just kind of it's been really awesome watching this transformation of yours, honestly. So anyway, welcome and thank you for
Thank you.
coming, Steph.
Thanks.
And of course, so tell everybody a little bit about you and your business.
Okay, well, like Renee said, I've been in business a long time. This is actually my 17th year. Didn't start off just with seniors. Most of us probably just kind of, when we all start, it's just like, hey, what can I shoot? You don't really know where you're going to go as for your specialty or your niche. But seniors kind of became my niche about 10 years ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. So I've seen a huge change in the way that we not only market to seniors, but photograph seniors and everything. So, and I was never really struggling too much for business. Like I was doing fine, but I didn't want to just do fine. I wanted to do better. I wanted to be different. I wanted to do more. Mm-hmm. So, I can't even remember how I found you, Renee. I saw you, I must have seen you on Instagram probably, probably through somebody mutual that we follow.
Right.
And then I reached out to her when she was starting, or when she was talking about her Level Up program.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to do this. Like I never really looked at anybody's programs per se. Like I just thought I'm going to just do it my way and it's fine. Like everything was fine. So I reached out to Renee and we chatted, and then I signed up for Level Up program and I committed myself to it. And I was like, I want to be different. I was telling her I have a couple main competitors here and just wanted to, we were all kind of doing the same thing. And I didn't like that. I wanted to do like, why should I, how could I convince people to come to me? You know, why am I different? So that's kind of what I needed to figure out. Like, why are they coming to me besides the fact that I feel like I'm easy to work with and I feel like I'm a nice person, but I know for Generation Z that they dig deeper. So signed up for her course, and Renee can attest to this, I would message her praises through the whole time. And I did the work.
Yeah, you did the work.
I did the work. You really have to soul search, like you say at the beginning. Like you really have to dig into yourself and figure out what you're looking for, what you want out of your own program, yourself. And I was telling her one of her quotes that she had said that I wrote down and I just love is, to do something different, you have to be something different. So that resonated with me, and I was constantly thinking about that in the back of my mind. So I put in the work, and then literally, so I've had teams for about
Yeah, you've run teams before. So that's the
I've run
thing.
teams.
You
Yeah.
had the business, and that's the thing. Like,
Mhm.
when we first
Yeah.
chatted, you were like, I've got the business. I have people knocking down my door to be on my team. Like, you were dialed in. You've been
Yeah.
dialed into that market, but you knew that this change was shifting, and you felt like something needed
Exactly.
to, like, be reinvented a little bit. And I know it was scary too, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
I have like this already solid client
Yes.
base.
And I'm going to switch it all up. But I was like, I think I need to, because I don't want to be behind the curve. I don't
Yeah.
want to be like, oh, well, so-and-so did this 2 years ago or
Yeah.
last year. I wanted to be the one that was leading the pack. I didn't want to be behind. I didn't want to be trailing.
And you wanted
That
to
makes
make
sense.
more money too. I mean, you were really
Of course.
working hard, like working really hard and working a lot. And there was that room for you to grow, right?
Mhm.
That's always that scary room of like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. But you really, like you said, like you put in the work, you showed up in for your, like, not just for the course, but you showed up for yourself, right? And I think
Right.
that is what's so important. That and one of the main reasons I wanted to share your story with people is because I hear that a lot from people. Like, I've been at this for a long time, and and like you said in the beginning, you kind of do it. Like, I can figure this out, I can do it.
Yeah.
But having that willingness to step back and reevaluate and say, okay, I might need to be open to
Mhm.
something else, and what
Mhm.
does this resonate with me? That's not something that a lot of people are willing to even do in the first place, much less do the work. So
Right. And it's
um
hard.
it
It,
does, it
it's
is hard.
hard. I mean, especially when you have it in your mind that my business is fine. I grow every year, but when you change it all up and people are like, I mean, I literally have had people tell me that, what are you doing different? Like, in a good way, like
Yeah.
they can sense it. Like, you are killing it
Uh-huh.
with your pictures. You're like, your Instagram is what did they tell me? I mean, I've literally had compliments like, you're on fire, and I'm like, thanks. Like, okay, that's cool, thanks. Because I show up, and sometimes it's hard.
Yeah,
And
it is hard because you kind of have to silence the other stuff, right? So it's all that
yeah, like
mindset
right
game, and
now.
you had to really work. Yeah, exactly. So you had to really work on that mindset. But I want to talk a little bit about your team in particular,
Hmm.
because like you said, you had been running a team and you had been
Yeah,
kind of doing your own thing. So you had your meetings, like, how long ago now?
February I
Um,
reached my meetings. So 5 weeks ago, I think I had it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
6 weeks
you had
ago.
your meetings and you were prepping for this entire, like, this different, like, it's a very different rollout, I think, right? Like, so you changed a lot of things. What did you do
I
in
pretty much
particular?
changed. I feel like I changed everything. I do. I don't know. I just feel like, because I went off of your course, and
The
the
influencer
first,
model program. Yeah.
yes, and the first thing I did was to everything I did to get people interested in even hearing about my program was all based on what you said about, like, getting um, the referrals from your client,
Yeah.
your already
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
I did that whole thing, and that was huge, because not only did I get people that were interested, but I mean, I got a ton of people's emails and Instagrams, new followers, and all of that, which is great, because even if they don't sign up, they're now following me. And it's like, they might not want to do a program, but they're still looking for a senior portrait photographer for next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
have all those contacts.
Yeah, for sure. And you started earlier. That was something that we talked about last summer. I remember on one of the calls, we were talking about that, on how, I was already starting to get 2021 people messaging me. You were starting to get that. And we kind of discussed that, like, is it too early? And I was like, no, I think that with Gen Z, and I've kind of been saying this for a little while now, with Gen Z in particular, we really need to, because they need so many touch points with us. They need so
Yes.
much from us
And
beforehand.
that was something you taught me too. Like, I didn't even realize, but
Yeah.
through that, I learned about just like reaching out to them and constantly like emailing them, or just so they know that I'm here.
Yeah, being on their radar. It's like they have to, I kind of remind people, they have to see various things from you in different places. Like that word of mouth is always, always going to be important. Like even more so, Gen Z really values that word of mouth, but they've got to see a lot of social proof. You know, they've got to see repetitive stuff. That's why that retargeting is super important. That's basically what it is. And so, you know, I was like, let's just start earlier. You know, let's start like rolling out our 2021 invites or whatever that looks like earlier than normal, and create an email funnel that we can foster that relationship with them while we're trying to get these signups. And so that worked really well for you. You had a ton of people
I
interested in
did.
coming to your
I did.
meetings, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had a very good amount of people coming to my meetings, and I thought I was going to keep it really small this year. But really quick, what I wanted to mention was, yeah, it's kind of funny.
I remember that text. You're like, oh God.
I literally started in September. Like I would just do feelers, just out on my story on Instagram. Just feelers of who's interested. Class 2021, you're next. It's your turn. Things like that. Who's interested in being part of a program? You know, let me know. And so I would get a few people through that way. So I had a nice list going. And then in October is when I ran the contest with my current team, my 2020 team.
Right.
Got a bunch more. And then I started hitting them up with the emails and all of that in November, and then in December, so they wouldn't forget about me over break.
Yes.
Even though if they were already following me, I still wanted to keep that
You
contact.
got to be on their radar.
Yeah, so important.
Yeah.
And just kept telling, and then in their parents, I had all their
Mm-hmm.
parents' emails, so they were all aware of what was going on. Did not want to leave them out, which was new. I actually never did that before.
Yeah, that's super important too. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that parent touch point and having them included, and also, you know, that because it is a different level. I talk about that a lot, how we have two different clients and we do have to market to them a little bit differently, right? So
Yes.
that is really cool. So tell me about like when you I want to talk about your team. So you wanted to try and keep it small. That's that was what I remember you saying. You're like, kind of want to keep it smaller, but then how many did you end up signing up, and how different does it look than your teams were in the past, basically, as far as like what you're doing?
Okay, so let me just tell you, first of all, my teams in the past, it's just been one price, and then, hey, we're just going to
Yeah.
go out and shoot and this type of thing. This year, I increased the price because I brought more to them, like more guarantee to them. The hair and makeup thing is huge. You taught me that. Like I've hooked up with a salon here. It's actually, it just kind of all happened. My gal.
Yeah, I keep seeing your post that
Yeah.
you really made that really killer relationship with that salon, and that's really, really awesome.
And they're a cute salon. They're new in business. So anyway, we've done so much together. So they're my hair and makeup people, but adding various shoots that they know that they're going to get for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 2 levels, which I'd never done that before either. And honestly, I thought everybody would go for the lower level, and it was the opposite. I had more people sign up for the bigger level, than the smaller. And all in all, I have 23 again this year. It did not hurt. I mean, I literally would lose sleep because I was so stressed. And I would message Renee. I was so stressed, like, oh my God, I need to just have this. It was like a week before my meetings. I would get so freaked out, like, okay, I just have to think that if I get 3 people, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but you really, you push through that. And that's the other part of it too, because it's always really scary to make any changes. I mean, it's scary to do anything right now, but it's scary just in general, right? To make changes in your business, especially when you've been doing the same thing for so long.
Right.
And
that's the thing.
All those things that you tell yourself of no one's going to want to, I think you said it was 6 times the price or something like that than your previous one. So like, you're like, oh my God, like no one's, oh my God. And I was like, this is how you really know, first of all, who your true target clients are. Cause you had done that work. You had really like almost like, just like you said, tore it all down and rebuilt it all up, keeping all the
Exactly.
good things about your business, all the
Hmm.
good things that you really, honed and developed over the years. And then we're able to add all these pieces to it to
Yes.
really speak directly to that target client. And that is,
Hmm.
that's the goal. That's the goal. Right. So,
Yes, exactly. Kind of
um,
combined like what you do and what I do,
yeah,
and then picked out what I liked and threw away what I was like, I
exactly.
don't need to do that. And that's what you need to do. Everybody
Yeah. Cause
needs
I'm
to kind of
always
look
telling
at it.
people that I'm like, don't, I'm not here to tell you like you've got to do exactly what I do. I First of all, I think any educator in any field, right? If they just tell you this is exactly how to do it, you got to do it like me. That's
Yeah.
not the way to teach. That's not really the way to actually coach people through their own specific things. And so what I really love doing is finding out what makes your business special, what makes yours already unique before you even add anything to it, right? And then just make more of that using the different tools available to you. So not just copying somebody's program or
Right.
copying someone's pricing or whatever, using those tools and making it work for you and your business. That's the
Yes.
goal. That's the goal. And I'm really excited because so now you've got this 2021 team, right?
Mhm.
So you've got a 21 team, and then you're finishing off your 2020 seniors as well, like most of
Yeah.
us, right?
Mhm.
And you're in California, so you're basically dealing with the same stuff that I'm dealing with right now, as far as having to kind of just wait and see, and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, we can shoot pretty much year round. Um, so
Yeah. That's
that
true.
is good. But what are some things that you're doing? We talked about how important, and I really stress this a lot, um, being in constant contact. Not, that sounds awful, but pretty much being on the radar of your clients. Like, I've been talking about in the last couple of days, things that you can do to, let them know that you're there, to communicate with them and to keep things moving so that they don't start freaking out or whatever. Um, and I've also seen a lot of photographers say that they're just terrified and they're just kind of walking away, kind of shutting down, which I understand. Like, I get how scary things are, but I think the last thing we need to be doing as photographers is hitting pause on our businesses right now, because there's a lot of work that we can be doing
Yeah.
even behind the scenes. So what are you kind of doing with your teams as far as staying in contact with them, and what is the vibe with your teams right now?
So I have everybody sign up on Remind. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but schools use it. It's just a way to message a lot of people at one time. And since I have 23 plus their parents can be on this as well, because
That's awesome.
yeah, I don't, like you would say, you want to be transparent. Like, I don't want to hide anything. So the parents know they have the option to sign up as well. Anyway, so for my class of 2020 team, I'll send out messages, but I just checked in on them like, hey, how's it going? Because this sucks for them.
Yeah.
They are missing out on their senior year. So I wanted to reach out and let them know that I completely understand. Not that I've been through it, because
Right.
I haven't, none of us have ever been through this.
Right.
And just to see how they were doing, because I don't know if anybody besides their parents, obviously, really know how they're doing emotionally or anything. So I reached out and I had a few people um, touch base with me, and like a couple of them thanked me for checking in on them, but I validated how they were feeling. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this does suck. And, is there anything, do you need anything? How are you feeling? And they would literally, like, especially one girl, she just wrote me a whole paragraph basically of how she was feeling and how unfair this was. And
Yeah.
and not that it's anybody's fault, not that she was blaming
Right.
the school
Right.
district,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and all of that. And then my 2021 girls, we had a big shoot planned at the beginning of April, so they all know that
Yeah.
that's happening right now. So just kind of reach out and just check on everybody. And then as they write me, I'll write them back. I make sure to write
Yeah.
them back because that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, and that's one of the main things that we want to do as boutique, photographers. That it's a relationship based business, and that's what I talk about a lot. And I've always run my business that way. I think that you have too. It's just that now going forward with Gen Z clients, and now and in the next like 2 or 3 years, we're going to see like that true Gen Z that I've been kind of talking about, right? They really value those things a lot. Those in-person meetups, the things that you can plan with them, that are going to bring more meaning to them than just a photo shoot, right? They want a lot different stuff than their older counterparts did, really. And you know, I hear a lot of photographers saying how they don't share their images and things like that, and that goes along with the style of imagery too that I talk a lot about, and that lifestyle that really reflects who they are. Have you seen that kind of shift in your business as well? I mean, I think you were already doing a lot of that. Like, as far as like your shooting goes, have you infused your business with that? Like, what have you seen your clients kind of respond to, basically?
You mean in normal circumstances, like when I'm
Yeah, yeah,
shooting
yeah.
them?
Yeah.
I've always been one to share, like when we go out on what I call a fun shoot. So I do a lot of, like in early summertime, I would normally do fun shoots for national days, just to have stuff to post during the summer, because it's so hot here in the summertime.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want, like I rarely get a July senior session. That's unheard of. I think I've had one.
Yeah.
Usually I'm shooting other stuff in July. August, I'll get a couple. So September really starts blowing up. But anyway, I'll take them out to do fun shoots, you know, whether it was National Smoothie Day, National Donut Day, and all that kind of stuff. But I give them those photos to post.
Yep.
And because I want them, that's the whole point. And I do know photographers that was one of the things that a couple years ago, I decided was going to set me apart, because I was realizing these people that had teams in my area, I don't know how everybody's area works, but in my area, they weren't sharing their photos. And I thought, well, what's the point of having a team if you're not going to let them share their photos? So I would just, at the time, was just texting them the pictures that we would take. I'd come home and edit, like a quick edit on them, send them out. They just wanted fun stuff to post.
Yeah.
They just want to have a memorable senior year, and everybody's crazy about photos. I mean, they literally, when they're taking their own pictures, I literally see like blurry pictures. So
I know.
what we're all taking is like the best thing for them. So, but so they could post on, and honestly, at that time, I wasn't like giving them too many strict guidelines. I mean, it was, here you go, post on Snapchat, post on your feed, your story on Instagram, you know, whatever. Tag me. That's all I ask, is tag me. And honestly, they will tag me. They will say, I don't even give them like what to say, because they posted in their own words about Steph Photog, like senior year's coming up. Get your senior session, you know, make sure to book your senior session with Steph Photog.
Yeah, your clients really do a lot. I see your story, and
and I don't, half the time I'm not even telling them what I don't tell them what to say. They just, I think they kind of like, they know the drill. They know what they're doing, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I always talk about how you do need to kind of be specific with them if there is something you want them to do, right? Because a lot of clients are like, I don't really know, but most of them, you know, like if you set that up as a precedent, that's kind of what I do in the beginning, right? It's like when I'm even talking to them at the meetings, I'm like, you know, the whole point for these sort of fun shoots that we do together throughout the year, that, you know, I like to take my level 1 girls and do like really killer high, you know, stylized shoots, but for the most part, that's not really what they want that much. Then like, they want those fun meetups that go get ice cream with you know what I mean? Make all these different relationships with your local businesses. So you can cross promote. Like, they love that kind of stuff, and they love those lifestyle, real, authentic friend pictures. They love those. They post the crap out of those. So that's really, I mean, and the thing about it too, though, is that you can do that when you're charging enough for your model team, so that you're not overextending yourself either with effort, time, or money. That's the thing. Like, that's where I think a lot of photographers have issues, is that they want model teams, but they're not really sure how to run them. And they kind of do what we've kind of always been taught. Like you said, just kind of like pay the fee and then we'll shoot. But you end up exhausted and not
Yeah.
really seeing a monetary return, which in the long run is just going to burn you out, basically.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the deal is, you know, creating an experience that they can't really get from anybody else. And that relationship with you, because like you're more than a photographer to them, right? You
Yeah.
know, that's the whole thing. That relationship thing that I was talking about. I really like, I love my girls on my team. Like they, you know, they
Love
become like a part of my family. So
totally.
those of us who run teams like this, I think that it isn't hard to get them to sing our praises, right? Like, so as far as marketing, because there's been a lot of like people on the line right now talking about, "Oh, I don't want to market right now, it feels weird." And I have my own little spiel about that. I think I totally get what you're saying. You know, people who are saying that. I understand why that might feel that way, but at the same time, I think that you're doing a disservice to your clients too, because not everybody, like, people really do need normalcy in times like this as well.
Right.
So by posting your feed, posting your images, I really don't see that as insensitive, as long as you're making that service based to your clients. You know, you're in, as long as you're in service to your clients, right? That is like passive marketing, really, because it's not like an in your face kind of marketing, right? That organic marketing. So continuing to do things like that, even in this time, staying in touch with them, doing nice things for them, that's all part of what we do. And when you run a business based on that kind of relationship, I think it's easier, you know.
Yeah. I'm not focusing so much on, well, my last two posts would probably seem different, but I'm not necessarily poo-pooing everything going on right now. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but
I know what you mean.
but the post that I did the past 2 days was my daughter, because like I said, she's a
Yeah.
junior. And to this morning, I posted a picture where she's literally in a Friends sweatshirt, you know, the TV show Friends. And I just talked about how I was basically being more empathetic.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I remember when I was, this is what I post. I remember when I was in high school, how my best friends, that was my life. Like, they were my lifeline. And I can't even imagine what these kids are going through, like not being able to see them and hang out with them every day. And that's what I want. So I was like, I tagged my two best friends that I've had since I was 12 years old
Aw.
in the comments. And then basically that's what I'm having people do, like tag your best friends, like, or who do you miss? Or I don't remember how exactly I worded it, but, and
Yeah.
people are going through and they're tagging their best friends. And it's really cute to see like
That's
comments
awesome.
from each other. And so, because there's so many things going around right now on Instagram, I know you've seen it, just different things for the kids to do, or
Yes.
for adults too, share your pet and all that kind of thing. So this was kind of another thing, like, hey, I understand what you're going through. Like, I would be devastated as well if I didn't get to see things every day at your age. And so it's not dwelling necessarily on what's going on, but it is using current events to, and I'm still utilizing those, and but still posting.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm doing this correctly.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I'm doing the same. I think that it's really important, like I said, to stay on the radar. If we press pause completely right now, Gen Z has an 8-second attention span. So, you know, you're going to be out of their radar really quickly if you're not continuing to, you know, show up authentically on your social, on your story. I'm really big on that, as you know, like, you know, sharing about really who you are. So those of you who are kind of thinking about pressing pause, I understand where your mental health might be right now. And I totally, if you're having a hard time, absolutely understand that. I just think that I would like you to consider, you know, not pressing pause completely, because you really will lose a lot of traction, right? And that's what it's about. It's like we were talking about before, is starting so early with class of 2021, like we mentioned.
Yeah,
That's important. And so if we don't like continue the conversation and let them know and show up for them, it's really, the way that the world works, the way that their attention span is, it just really won't be good for anybody, really. But
corporations plan a year in advance or
Yeah.
or more, you know,
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
so we have to constantly be looking ahead, and maybe things that I have planned for this year, I already know, like, okay, so for 2022, I
Yeah.
might be adding this, or, you know, and then I have to kind of fill out the 2021 things that I'm going to be doing in the next, well, I don't know what I'm going to be starting now, but you know,
Yeah.
you have to fill it out and then decide, like, what am I going to change, what worked, what didn't. And because by the time the fall hits, I have very few shoots left with my team.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think about the other one, but I have like pumpkin patch and
Right.
possibly doing a Friendsgiving this year, not sure yet, but I did promise them that. And then a couple things that I promised them in December. So, but yeah, it's few and far between at that time because that's my busiest time for sessions. So it's hard for me to be doing extra
Exactly.
sessions for my team. So you got to constantly be thinking ahead and planning and developing your ideas basically all year long. I feel like it's always in the back of my head. Like, is there something new that I want to bring to my team? My next
That's
team.
awesome. I was going to ask you if you had a piece of advice for people, and I think that might be part of it, right? Is that you know, maybe you have a different answer too, but I think that's a really good thing to
No,
share.
that would be constantly just always have it in your head, you know, like just have an open mind about what can you bring to the next team? Like what could be different for
And what
them?
can
And
you learn, right? Because as you start shooting, like that goes back to that being open and polling your audience and understanding what they want and not just trying to market to them based on what you want and what you've always done, right? Because
right.
you've got to listen to them and you got to listen to your target audience. First of all, you got to know who that is. Then you have to listen to them and really give them what they want.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the same thing. I do a lot of, you know, I do some planned ahead as far as like the main shoots that I want to do with them. But for the most part, I left the dates this year a little more open, which I'm glad I did now, because I'm going to have to kind of wiggle some of those for sure. But there's always things too, like, you know, like you said, thinking ahead and trying to figure out what, you know, planning ahead for what is going to even be current and relevant, right, for them at that time, because things are changing so quickly and so fast with Gen Z, that's another sort of aspect on that. Always having to like think ahead, think of the next new thing.
Oh yeah. That's so important.
Yeah, for sure. So we can go ahead and wrap up. I think I don't want to keep you. I know you've got your kids at home. I'm really, really like so excited to see what you do with your team this year. Like I can't wait to hear. And we are going to do, like, if you do that LA shoot,
Mm-hmm.
are you still planning on doing your LA shoot with your team? I want to come. I want to come and
Awesome.
help
Okay.
and
I'll send you,
shoot.
I'm actually booked for 2 different days. I'll be there
Let me
too.
know.
Yeah, I will.
Let me know because I want to show up and say hi and I'll do some BTS for you or whatever. But that would be super fun.
Yeah, that'd
Super
be a lot
fun.
of fun. Thanks so
So
much.
tell people how they can find you on social and stuff.
On Instagram, I'm Stephash Photog. I don't know if you can see the way you spell my name. I don't know if you see that.
I can post it in the group too. You can always post it in there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like under our live, you can always
I'm
put
on
it in there.
Facebook, but I really am. That's my downfall. Sorry, Renee.
No, it's okay.
My Instagram, but I don't go on Facebook regularly, except for like stuff like this. But I don't go onto my SF photography, if that's what my business is called. Yeah. But everybody knows me as Stephash Photog. I mean, I've literally thought that I need to change my business name because honestly, I don't even think people know that it's SF photography half the time. Just because they know me by my Instagram handle.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good branding though, right? Like, you know, people know, they know where to find you. So that's always good.
Yeah. And if anybody ever had any questions for me, I don't mind answering. Really.
That's awesome.
Just DM me.
Yeah, Steph's in the group. She's in Momentum too. So yeah, she's in my little inner circle.
Yeah,
so
Renee
you have
a lot, so I appreciate it so much.
Happy to help. Okay, you guys have a good day, and I will I will talk to you guys soon, and I will talk to you as well, Steph. I'm like looking at my computer. All right, let me see if I can stop the live stream. Okay, I think that we are done. Let me just make sure that we're off live because I'm still learning this new system. It's like I always did eCam, and then I started using Zoom a couple months ago, and I like it a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're good. All right, well, thanks so much, sweetie.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
I hope I did
That's
okay.
awesome. That was awesome. You did awesome. You're so great at that. So
Perfect.
good at that. So yeah, let me know if I can help with anything.